Momoshiki seems to be cooking some new predictions on Boruto's life. While the monster was bewildered that he did not lose hope after everything that has happened, he was also impressed by his resilience during the tough times. But since Momoshiki had already foreseen Boruto's entire future, along with this scene that hasn't been revealed yet, this means either Boruto hasn't completely lost everything or Momoshiki is preparing him for a greater plan. So let's figure out what he's cooking. The plans of the Otsutsuki seem to be falling apart with Boruto's new resolve in chapter 80. But what if I told you he was actually pretending to be so worried about the current situation? The reason I think this way is because he somehow possesses the power to see people's fate. Since he was able to peek into Boruto's future until the omnipotence twist, he must have the capability to see beyond it as well. That's why I feel like he could come up with some new prophecies for Boruto's future. But before figuring out what they could be, let's find out how Momoshiki's foresight power actually works. So far, Momoshiki has several times predicted the future, starting off with prophesizing the fate of Kurama and the fact that he won't be able to pass on his progress to the next generation. Here Momoshiki activated his Byakugan to look into Kurama's fate, who was sealed inside Naruto. Further, he peeked into Boruto's future and identified his destiny as interesting. Some say Momoshiki let himself be defeated by Boruto just to witness his twist of fate himself. But anyway, while granting Boruto the karma, he made a prediction about some blue eyes taking everything away from him. He then recalled his prophecy several times throughout the series, but what's really interesting is that he mentioned in episode 272 that he has no idea how things are gonna turn out. So how exactly does Momoshiki see future if he didn't know omnipotence was gonna happen but was well aware of a blue-eyed mastermind? Well, I think Momoshiki gets to see some shiholets of a person's future until they become a reality. Once the moment seems to be just around the corner, he starts to get a more clearer picture of the future events. This explains how Boruto saw the glimpse of future a day prior to losing everything. However, Momoshiki does not know everything on hand while peeking into someone's future, which means he can't predict the entire thing accurately. Rather, it's like an unsolved puzzle that he needs to figure out to get a good insight of what's coming. This explains how he figured out omnipotence was gonna change Boruto's destiny after thinking about Aida's loud charm for an ample amount of time. The question which remains is that if Momoshiki was so certain about Boruto losing his will to live, then why did it not happen? Is it because Boruto changed his own destiny, or maybe Momoshiki gets to see a variety of possible futures? I don't think Momoshiki's future seeing power was limited to the omnipotence incident. He must be able to see more of Boruto's future and the sinister things that lie there. A good hint to prove this is the panel of Kawaki from chapter 75, which did not make it to the series. It seems like it was one of Momoshiki's shiholets of future that was still not around the corner at that time. This means Momoshiki could peek into Boruto's future once again to get some new insight. He might have already cooked some new prophecies for the vessel, so what could they be? Well, I feel like there's another plausible way for Momoshiki's foresight power to work, which does not involve seeing visuals from the future. Rather, it could be some voice in his mind that gives him some puzzle pieces of a person's fate that he uses to figure out the future. Talking about the current point in the story, he must be well aware of another major impact that Kawaki is gonna put on Boruto's fate. It could be either killing his master or deciding to hunt him down without Aida's help. This panel hints at the same, and Momoshiki's next prophecy could warn Boruto about losing the only person who's helping him out, which is Sasuke. It seems like the Shadow Hokage is following a fate similar to his brother. While everyone will see him as a traitor who's helping out the killer of the Hokage, only a very few people would know that he's doing the right thing. The promise of saying Boruto that he made to Sarada would only spoil his image in the shinobi world as of now. If things go like this, then the great nations would most likely want him to die alongside Boruto. And if it's actually Sasuke who has died in this scene right here, then it seems like Boruto will soon begin his revenge plan against Kawaki. I also think that Boruto will get another glimpse of future in the next chapter, where he will get to see some more details of this sequence. As for the next prophecy of Momoshiki, I think we will need to take some context from Aida's statement, as well as the advice that Garaga gave to Boruto. When Aida told him that Kawaki still sees him as a brother and he's only after Momoshiki's life, Boruto quickly stated he won't let this conflict go too far. He wants it to end as a mere disagreement among brothers, which brings us to the statement of Garaga, where he advises Boruto to not trust too much in the idea of friendship. This makes me think that the next prophecy of Momoshiki would revolve around Kawaki and Boruto's trust in him. Let's say Boruto and Momoshiki have an argument about his fate, where he blames all the misfortune on the monster. Momoshiki would retaliate by saying that even without him, his destiny is totally dark and there is no way he could reverse it. Boruto might respond by saying that the only reason Kawaki is hunting him is because there is an Otsutsuki inside of him. Momoshiki might refuse to accept this, as he must have already seen in Boruto's fate that his misfortune is not limited to him. Then Momoshiki could make some deal with Boruto, in which the monster would suppress his presence for some time just to prove him wrong, and that's why in the time skip, Kawaki is determined to send Boruto to his father instead of killing him. However, the fact that his village got destroyed and now the shinobi world is in danger has made it clear that Boruto's misfortune wasn't all about Momoshiki. It was actually the relentless endeavor of Kawaki of taking extreme steps which caused so much trouble to Boruto and his village. If you are enjoying the video, consider subscribing for more amazing theories. Coming back to Momoshiki and his pesky tricks. What if he's saving Boruto for some greater purpose? All the dark reminders and peer pressure could be to make him bold enough for his true goal. The reason I think this way is because Momoshiki's foresight must have already given him the ability to see beyond the current point of the story. This means Momoshiki is well aware of the fact that destiny can be changed with endeavor and resilience. The true purpose of Boruto must have something to do with the Jogan, but before discussing what it could be, let's find out the limit of Boruto's mental resolve and how he's so calm in the time skip scene. If Kawaki is about to end the chapter of Sasuke from Boruto's life, then it's kinda unrealistic for him to act so nicely towards him in the future. So why didn't Boruto go outrageous on Kawaki in the time skip? He not only stole his identity, but also framed him as the Hokage killer and international level criminal. Not only that, he might have even killed his master for selfish reasons. Why is Boruto not furious at him? I don't think either revealing Kawaki's true feelings towards him would have comforted him so much. The optimism that he showed in chapter 80 was the only possible reaction that could have saved him from falling prey to Momoshiki's trap. If he had started crying depressingly, it would have granted the Otsutsuki a chance to take over. He also seems to feel the same way Kawaki has been feeling his entire life after switching places with him. But the lines that he's about to cross are intolerable. What would make Boruto still act so calmly? Well, I feel like it all comes back to Momoshiki's next warning, where he proves Kawaki as the main culprit of Boruto's bad times. After realizing that Kawaki has shifted his focus from Otsutsukis to shinobis, Boruto had the option to go furious on him, but the only reason which stopped him from doing so is the Jogan. The Jogan is the eye of an Otsutsuki god, which means it must have aroused some sense of spirituality in Boruto. He more or less becomes a spiritual being after unlocking the Jogan. That's why he is dealing with Kawaki in a cool and calm manner, even after his horrible actions. We can also say that Momoshiki failed in his mission of making Boruto give up on his consciousness, but he has indeed succeeded in his mission of making Boruto lose his smile in the future. Saying that it was all Momoshiki's doings to destroy Boruto's mental health would be unfair. Rather, we can say it was pre-written in Boruto's fate to become the saddest character in the history of Naruto. Some even say his life in the time skip is gonna be darker than Itachi. It might be true since the way he's ignoring Momoshiki's warnings, it was pretty much obvious that he will lose his charisma in the time skip. The question remains, how will he get it all back? We know the omnipotence cannot be reversed, so Boruto will need to get this power himself in order to manifest his original reality. Some of you might ask, why can't Aida undo this ability herself? Well, maybe it's impossible since it happened subconsciously, or maybe she is the victim of Kawaki in this scene. Anyway, Boruto's Jogan will definitely grant him his original life back for a number of reasons. Subscribe and I will discuss them in a future video. Coming on to Kawaki. What if I told you his goals are beyond anyone's understandings as well? The outfit that he's seen wearing from the prologue scene of episode 1 hints at the same thing. Find out more about it in this video and don't forget to leave a like down below. I will see you next time.